What's better, the Tremor or the Rebel? We'll find out with today's comparison. The Sky Ford and the Sky Ram here in Provo are providing us with both these trucks. So I'll include a link to their websites in the description down below. Let's get right into it. Powering the Ford is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic. Fuel economy 16 around town, 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 382 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque. Powering the Ram is a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 468 pound-feet of torque. If you're looking for more unbiased, straight-to-the-point comparisons like this, make sure you subscribe. The Tremor package on the Ford gives you the hood vents. You also get an upgraded bumper there with this more loaded up one, recovery points, fog lights built into the bumper. The Rebel package actually came out before the Tremor package and does all the same. You've got the hood vents, you've got the upgraded bumper, but one thing about the Rebel, you get this upgraded bumper on the lower-end Rebel and on the higher-end Rebel. Not sure why Ford makes you pay extra for that. Anyways, 33s on both of the trucks wrapped around 18-inch wheels. There's the Ford, there's the Ram. I actually prefer the tires on the Ram here. A little bit more aggressive looking, and the performance on these is great. Now the Ford side steps are a little bit more off-road oriented compared to the side steps on this particular Rebel, as you can see. And you'll note blacked out mirror cap versus body painted, so there's some thematic differences. And again, you got obviously the gold with the Tremor. Now the Tremor is body on frame, solid axle in the back, independent suspension up front. The Rebel is body on frame, independent suspension up front, solid axle in the back. But with the Tremor, you get unbranded shocks, monotube up front, twin tube in the back, leaf springs, which is interesting. With the Rebel, you can't really see anything because Ram actually gives you wheel well liners. Ford never does that. I don't know why Ford cheaps out on that. Anyways, it's coil sprung, it's got Bilstein shocks. We've got an outlet in the bed, LED lights, we've got the cargo tie-down slider system, bed liner as well. And I should just be able to nudge this a little bit. There we go. Boom. LED lights in the Ford bed, but no bed liner. Pretty common with Fords. You do have an outlet, and this one has the barn door setup. You can get a similar barn door setup on the Ram. It's a little bit different. I'm not sure why they're trying to reinvent the tailgate. Let's see if this is power up. Yeah, they're both power up. Now, towing capacities on both these trucks is going to be relatively similar. You're going to be right around that 11-ish thousand pound range. And then you'll note that we've got an upgraded bumper here with the Ram. We got the dual outlet exhaust tips, and the Ford also has an upgraded bumper in the back with the dual outlet exhaust tips. Almost forgot, underneath the Ram and the Ford, full-size spare. Now in the back of the Ram, I got a little storage pocket, great legroom, little bucket there on either side. We've got some nice trim around the cup holders, heated seats, USB ports, a full outlet, and then good headroom. Now the nicest thing about the Ram is the seats. You get these really fancy leather seats, power sliding rear window as well. Now in the back of the Ford, I got great legroom, a little storage pocket, heated seats here in the back, cup holders. You can see with the USB ports and everything. And then the seats, again, everything in the Ford doesn't feel quite as high quality as the Ram, but it's still nice materials for the most part. Pretty good headroom, and then we do have power sliding rear window. Blind spot mounting with the mirrors of the Ram. We've got thicker glass up front. Really nice trim here on the door panel. Compare payloads. 1272 with the Ram. Got the GT logo there. And these seats are very high quality feeling, power adjustable and everything. Getting in's easy with those side steps. And then full digital Rebel. It's pretty fun. Now you do get a fun steering wheel in the Rebel with the RHO/TRX paddle shifters and just the same steering wheel as those, pretty much. You do have radio controls in the back. We got adaptive cruise. Now one downside, this thing's almost 80 grand and it just has a backup camera. Ram, if you're watching this, 360 camera needs to be standard. Stop cheaping out. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, you've got analog controls for the climate on either side, radio controls as well. They put some interesting stuff here at the bottom, like the parking sensors. Part of the trailer brake controls are built into the screen as well. And this response time on the screen, it's not the slowest, but not the fastest either. Heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. We do have a little sport mode button there. You know, it's part-time system, but it has auto high and low. You also have off-road cruise, axle lock, auto stop start. We've got some USB ports there, 2 phone charging pads. Shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. Got an actual shifter rather than a dial. You do have center console space behind. With that, nice trim on the top. Passenger screen, so no 360 camera, but they'll pop a screen for the passenger. This does have a camera rear view mirror, and then panoramic sunroof. The Ford also has blind spot monitoring and the thicker glass up front. And again, nice trim all over the panel. Front two windows are automatic, got memory seats. Payload, 1519. It's got more payload. Tremor there. The seats are comfortable in the Ford. Materials just feel a little bit cheaper. It's kind of the Ford thing they do. Solid enough. Full digital, just like the Ram. The steering wheel isn't as stylized, so like this doesn't have a Raptor steering wheel. You do have gold stitching though, and depth cruise and everything. Now look at this, it actually has a 360 camera. I don't know why Ram's so far behind with just making that system standard. I don't know if the system's any faster. Maybe a little bit, but not much. We do have a similar driveline setup where you've got a part-time system, but it has high, auto, low, rear diff lock as well. Physical buttons for the climate and everything here on the bottom section. Got this little kind of storage area. Some cup holders. Shifter for the 10-speed. This goes up, which is nice. This comes out, which is also nice. We got the 2 glove boxes. Just a regular rear view mirror, 6 auxiliary switches, and then a panoramic sunroof. The Ram's about 78K. The Ford's about 80K for the sticker price. Let's drive them. So we'll set off in the Tremor first, and then we'll drive the Rebel second. $80,000. The pickup truck market is crazy. And you know what? Considering the discounts that I see on a lot of these pickup trucks at dealers, it tells me the manufacturers are just asking too much money for these modern trucks. I personally think that it needs to go back to pre-2020 pricing with pickup trucks. Because I remember you used to be able to get something like this, probably like 65 grand MSRP. It's about 15 less. Engine's smooth. You guys wondering about the horsepower? Ford did like a particulate filter type situation for 26 trucks. So that's why you have less power. It's weird because, so obviously we all know that the emissions restrictions and everything are currently been like lightened a little bit, but Ford has kind of gone ahead with what they've already been doing, where they've been kind of stricter on some of the emission stuff with their vehicles. And my guess is Ford just thinks it's going to go back to what it was before. You know, you don't put a particulate filter on a truck if you think that it's going to continue to be more open with the emission stuff. Now I will say, the seat's comfortable, so that's another big benefit of this. And you know, the interior on this, like I said, it just doesn't feel quite as high quality as the Ram. It's not bad, it's just not as high quality. Good power though. Good power. Not bad at all. It drives well. Ford EcoBoost is kind of like the turbo truck, right? And the thing that I like about these trucks with their all-terrain tires, the all-terrain tires don't really make a difference. They're small enough and the truck's insulated enough that you don't really get any more noise. It's still a pretty quiet experience here in the cabin. So anyways, let's go pop into the Ram and settle the debate. Well, let us now set off in the Rebel. So I think the Ford seats are a little bit more comfortable than the Rebel seats. It's kind of, I don't know, softer cushioning, something. I do like the sound of this more than the EcoBoost. Now this has the GT package, so you got a kind of a louder exhaust setup on it. But I do think either way it kind of, I don't know, I prefer the sound of an inline 6 to a V6. Kind of like a deeper tone, typically. V6 is a little bit more high-pitched. And I will say that right off the bat, this is smoother The Ford V6 they've tuned that over the years to be smoother and smoother. It's really good, but inline sixes are just always going to be smoother with the power delivery. And it keeps building power. You can kind of feel like there's more and more as you get higher up in the RPMs. The V6, it's like you hit the power and then it just kind of stays and then it drops off. Makes this feel more sports car-like because of that, with the power building. So that's a little bit different. I think this is more insulated. They're both pretty good though. I think this is a little bit quieter inside overall. That's crazy how insulated these trucks are. And just the materials and this, it feels a bit less, it feels more premium. It feels less cheap than, because the Ford feels a little bit cheaper with some of the materials. It's always pros and cons, right? It's always pros and cons. So, get a little acceleration here. Yeah, see, I like that. I like this power delivery more. I don't feel bad about revving out an inline six. A V6, sometimes it just doesn't feel that good. So, in conclusion, I like the drive of the Rebel more. I like the features of the Ford more, for the most part. It's hard to get me off the Ram bandwagon. But, you know, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be driving home in either of these trucks with how they're equipped. You know what I'd be driving home in? Base model Ram RHO. Because although I'd have fewer features, I'd have a more exciting powertrain than both, because I'd have the high output inline six, and I'd have the wide body and the 35s. It's the problem with these trucks is they're too expensive. Too close in price to a Raptor and RHO. Let me know which one you'd pick.